Greetings.
Good evening, all.
Good evening. How's it going?
Yeah, really good.
Okay. There's only two of us at the moment, eh?
Yeah, I don't know
Only
what Jay
two of
is.
us. I know. I thought is Ross joining us?
No, he's
He's
out.
away, innit? Yeah. Evening, guys. Thanks for joining the stream. A few technical issues like we always have on mine. Always have on my channel. You know what I mean? I was just saying to Paul, I purchased some nice new Bang & Olufsen, Bowers and Wilkins headphones. Do not buy them because they will not connect to a laptop. Don't know why or what I'm doing, but I'm at a loss, mate. I don't know. I've been trying for ages, and I just can't seem to connect for some strange reason. Absolutely hopeless with technology. And
Have you got plug-in headphones?
No, I always have wireless. I had those cheap, crappy ones, and I've never bought like decent ones. You know what I mean? I don't know, because I go to the gym, and the things like I wear them for the gym and all that. You know what I mean? But it's not good if they don't connect to a laptop, is it? You know what I mean?
Not for live
Yeah,
stream.
I'm gonna figure it out. Evening, Howard. Thanks for joining. Jay, how's it going, mate?
Now then, mate, I'm good. How are you?
Not bad.
Oh,
Nice trip away last week.
Yeah, really good. So I took the missus to Belfast. First time ever in Northern Ireland.
Nice.
Awesome city. So if there's any people from Ireland in the chat, absolutely love the country. It's the first time I've been to Ireland. Incredible place. And but I didn't have time to go and at the LFS. It's a bit busy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, mate. I'm sure. You went to the Titanic Museum, Peter. That's one place. I love the Titanic Museum. It's always been a place I've always wanted to go, mate. There, you know.
It's a sad story, but it's a fascinating story.
It is.
Wanted to take the missus, you know, you can do the Jack and Rose reenactment and all that sort of thing.
Right, guys, we've got triple echo at the moment.
Terrible.
Have we?
Yeah.
Hi, Attackers Reef. Good, mate.
Right. You know what? You two chat away, and I'm gonna have to figure this out. I'll go and get the other headphones and try and connect them to it. Right. You talk. Freaking.
Yeah, we'll have a little chat.
Go on mute, Steve.
Got my hair down. I'll tell you what, right? I've been dashing about. I'm really sorry that I'm late on the live stream. I've just been dashing about.
There's nothing unusual about that, though, is there? To be fair.
Yeah, I know. I always do a water change on a Friday. Friday's my water change day, because then I feel like I can just sit back and just enjoy the reef at the weekend without any stress or just having to maintain the reef. So I finish work and then I end up doing all these jobs, and then I've mixed my salt. So I mix my salt within about 2 hours, Paul. You will be
That is good for you. That's an improvement from 2 days.
I know, yeah. Tropic Marine Pro Reef. So I mixed it within 2 hours in the kitchen. And no joke, at 7:45, I was taking the water out of the tank. Yeah. So I do about a 10% water change, which is about to here. And then I've just chucked the new stuff in. That's why the light. I ain't had time to adjust the lights, and I haven't even had time to feed the little fish yet. So I'm just defrosting my cube of frozen here.
So once you've defrosted it, what do? Do you pour it in like that, or do you put it through a sieve? Or
I just I use
That looks a bit crooked, does Joe?
Yeah, I use the turkey baster, and I just kind of feed them. Because the female clown, she's so dominant, and she gets, she just tries to bully the other fish off the food. So I just try and spot feed the fish to some extent, so they all get a bit of food near them, and feed a bit of the corals as well, because I've got that new button scolly.
Oh right.
Yeah, and when you feed a scolly, it's fascinating to watch, isn't it? When they kind of open up and basically turn themselves inside out, and the mouth.
It's a bit weird, isn't it, when you see it for the first time and then you realise it's the norm.
Yeah, it does look, like the film Alien.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like that, doesn't it? It does, but they're one of the best corals to feed. I know that's probably not something that people focus on, but you do get a real response from a scolly compared to some of the others when you feed them, don't you?
Absolutely. As soon as they take in some of the particles of myces or whatever you're feeding, they or pellets or something. So why don't you just put the food in near the power head, and the power head would then disperse it across the tank?
Just blast it round.
Yeah.
I've never even thought of that in a year and a half.
When I'm feeding this, I said this earlier on. So I've got a power head either end.
Yeah.
And I put some down there because there's an MP40 there.
Yeah.
And then there's an MP40, well, you can see it there. So I'll put there and over there, and it just gushes into the middle and they all get it. It's only when you've got things like mandarins and stuff like that I'm a bit more selective, because otherwise they don't get enough. But when you've got fish that are more than capable of competing with others, I just throw it in. I do it in 2 lots. I feed quite a bit. So I don't do it all in one go. So I feed one lot, either end, and then I'll do it again about 15, 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
So they've eaten it all, and it seems to work pretty well. I haven't got a target feed, and then some little bits go into the coral and stuff like that, and it just seems to work. Or maybe I'm just lazy.
No, I think that'd work. I'm having to cut down on my feeding though at the moment, because I've had some algae growing. I know you get a bit of algae anyway. I know you kind of get algae, and algae's not all that bad, but I've had a fair bit towards the front end, so I've just tried to cut down a little bit. I feed usually a good cube nearly a day, which obviously in this little nano tank is quite a lot. But I like the fish and the corals to be well fed. But yeah, I've noticed a bit of algae recently, so they're on Slimmer's World at the moment. I'm not feeding them as much as what they normally get. They still get a generous amount, I think, but.
Now, I always defrost my frozen food on a plate first.
Yeah.
And then take the liquid off.
Yeah.
I haven't proven it, but what I've read, and so you can't always believe anything you read, but number of posts over the years have said around frozen food, the liquid is full of, I can't remember if it's phosphate or nitrate. I think it's phosphate, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So I've always defrosted and not just put it into some water, then thrown it in, because if that's correct, you're throwing phosphate or nitrate into your tank. I don't know if anyone else has read that or whether that's just me. So I've always just defrosted it, and then got rid of the liquid first, Jay, just on that basis that it's full of nutrients.
Yeah,
so if you're doing that might not be helping.
The little tea strainer, and put the frozen in, and then just put RO on top of it, and then start to feed it. Yeah. But I'm going to be honest, I got a bit lazy. So I stopped doing that, and I just let it defrost in here. Maybe I need to go back to that strategy, because that's probably one of the reasons why I've got a bit more nitrate and phosphate than I normally have.
But when I first done it, I used to strain it. It was a real pain. So if you do 1 cube on a saucer and let it melt away, and you can just strain it away. And then I just use a knife and put that into a little pot full of RO, and it got hardly any liquid left. Yeah.
I've heard that the foods are carrying quite a lot of nitrate and phosphate. Yeah. The frozens are.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of people in the chat saying about just chucking it in, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a bit worried about your nutrients. Then...
What I don't get about feeding, everybody turns their pumps off and things. I understand for things like seahorses and, pipefish that would struggle with flow to eat. But in the sea, the waves don't stop for the fish to eat. I don't really truly understand why, we turn the wave makers off for feeding.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. And because you put it into powerhead, it's more likely to go all over the broadcast. I think Haley put about broadcast feeding. If you can just, depends on certainly on some flake food. If you just put that on top, it can go down the weir, so you actually lose some of the food. But I find with frozen that you don't do it. Yeah, someone's put in there around stop it going into the sump. I think it depends on what it is. I don't tend to find that frozen food goes into the sump through the power heads, because it just it doesn't float that well. Whereas pellets, obviously, most pellets I've used don't float. whereas flake tends to. So someone's asking me Ross is. Ross is away at the moment, hence he's not on the stream. And Steve has gone to fix his echo, which is kind of a weekly issue. He's going to find some headphones.
Was it doing the same as that last week, was it?
At some point it was, yeah. Usually we have it. This was obviously right up front and worse than usual, but at some point you usually get it.
Oh my goodness! There's so many people in the chat, and it's rubbish because we can't post your messages. So
let's have a look. I don't think we can. So let's go. Let's see if we can go through the chat.
Oh, you can post.
Oh, maybe I can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, that came up.
Hi, Michael. Hope all is well. Good to see you. Regular is Michael. He's always on the chat.
Yeah. So I'm pressing on the chat and I can't. So I don't know if that's just a fluke.
Oh, is it just changed by? Who's doing that then? Is that Steve?
I don't know. Is it
that must be Steve. He's getting our hopes up, thinking that we can actually change it. So, Cottage Reef, just chuck the food in. I think I might. That's what I have been doing. Kind of lazy reefing. I do just kind of, to some extent, chuck it in.
Yeah.
In fact, I am going to feed them in a second.
So let's go. So just going through. So Julie's bought her first SPS.
Oh.
I can ask her what she's bought. Now I don't know if she's responded. Oh, bubblegum digi. So that's nice. So bubblegum, I think, isn't that red and
blue? Isn't it like a blue?
I think it is. They look. That's really nice.
It's like he's down a coal mine. Can't see you, Steve.
We can hear him, but we can't see him.
He's fixed one problem and now we've got another. A bubblegum digit. Yeah, right. I've got a story about that. So I've got a bubblegum digit and it was doing really, really well. Yeah. And I know it's easy SPS. So you know what's coming here, don't you? But mine has lost its polyps. For some reason. I don't know why. So it used to be bright red.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's just not, its polyps haven't popped out again. And I really don't know. It's not dead. For sure it's not dead. But it's just looks miserable, and I don't know what it is because I've tested the water. The water's fine. Done the usual checks on the water. Water's fine. The flow hasn't changed. The lighting hasn't changed. So I don't know. But it's supposed to be easy. But mine's looking a bit miserable at the moment.
So do you think it could be the nitrates or the phosphates? Because you said what are your levels at the moment?
So I've actually had my record levels of nitrates, which is 15 ppm, which isn't ridiculous.
That's not
high. It's not ridiculous. But mine normally is between 2 and 5. But nitrates.
I suppose if they've gone up pretty quick, or has it gone up gradually over?
I would say the problem with these nanos, they're nice, obviously, to have, and then but they do swing quite a lot. And I feel that I am quite a tentative reef keeper. I do lots of checks. I do quite a lot of maintenance, but they do swing quite easily. So I would say within 2 weeks it's gone up quite significantly to 15.
Yeah. And I've got to say, a cube of frozen when you've got is it 3 fish you got?
I've got 4 fish.
I can't hear anybody.
4 fish. Oh, we can
do
hear
it,
you, Steve.
Just do it. Come on.
We can hear you, Steve. No, he can't hear us, can he?
I don't know. The thing is, though, he spent thousands on kit for this.
I said to him, have you got any plug-in headphones? And he goes, no, but you spent a fortune on some wireless ones.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Technology is always difficult, isn't it? Brown bubblegum, yeah. I don't know if it's brown, but it looks grey. It's grey bubblegum.
It's not grey. Oh, my grey's not good. Brown's okay because you can bring it back. Grey, that sound. I mean, I hate to say it, Jay. Grey is a sliver away from white, which is white is dead.
I don't come on these chats to be depressed, Paul. You're supposed to,
okay.
Optimism.
So grey is the new yellow.
It's a grey. The crazy thing is, I have actually got a forest fire digi.
Yeah.
It's just slightly further around the scape, and that's fine. Obviously, that's the same family of coral. So, how can one be a bit grumpy? And this is the thing with a mixed reef. I don't think I've ever got everything happy, ever. There's always one that looks a little bit unhappy, or you'll have a zoa colony that's slightly closed up compared to the others, or You'll have an SPS that doesn't look as. It's so frustrating. You never seem to get all of them looking well at the same time.
I think that's hard enough if you was just doing an LPS only, because they're always saying they might be upset. But when you got mixed reef across the spectrum from softies up to SPS, that is really hard. And I just accept that there might be a coral that looks a bit, it's got the and in a couple of days it will come back, and then something else will happen.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, in the people in the chat, they'll all have corals at the moment. One of them will have the hump, or something like the hump. I think that's just the way it is. If the hobby was easy, it wouldn't be as addictive, would it? That's the thing. That's why we like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, as we said before, everything you do, you change something that has an effect on that tank.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I also realised over time is that a problem that appears started maybe 3 or 4 weeks earlier, which is so annoying. You don't see it instantly, you don't see the instant impact that you're having of your changes. They take ages to kind of show up, as it were.
Yeah. So
just laughing at some of the chats, that's all.
Right, so we go through the chat then. Do you want to go through the chat?
They're all taking the pee out of my coral care keeping.
Never. I can't believe that people are not that rude, are they?
I think that's why people tune in. They go, you know what, my corals, it makes people feel better if they hear about me, in mine.
This is fucking shit.
Is he talking about your corals, Jay, or what? I mean, that's a bit rude, isn't it?
I mean, I know it's only lost a little bit of colour to you. That was a bit harsh, that criticism, to be fair.
The problem is he can't help it. So it's a good job he's not having a conversation with someone.
I don't know. It doesn't. He sounds a bit unhappy. I don't reckon it'll work at all. He's going to end up putting it through the window.
And the problem is he's hosting, so we can't mute him.
He's going to be raging in a minute. There's going to be a rage on. We do apologise for any inappropriate language that you hear in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Yeah, so I'm going to give him a bit of food now, 'cause to be fair, it's nearly bedtime for him. Because I have really weird light schedules, don't I? The fish wake up at 7.
Yeah.
They wake up at 7 and then they go to bed at about 8:30, to be honest. Put them to bed at 8:30.
So your lights are on for 13 and a half hours. Is that what you're saying? Did you say it come on at 7?
Yeah, so I can feed them before I go to work because it's dark mornings.
So I'm just trying to get my head around this, right? So you put your lights on at 7
I'm not an orthodox reefer. I do think to some other reefers.
So you run your lights for 13 and a half hours, except for on a live stream when you extend it, don't you? Because obviously it's
I have to extend them. But I'm also thinking with this energy crisis, first of all, I'm glad that I've got a nano because of the price of electric that's going up.
Yeah.
But I might have to cut that 13 hours down actually to more moderate hours because the electric bill is going to be going up as well, isn't it? So
it will be. I tell you what, it's a good job Ross isn't on here because we had the conversation last week about electricity, and he's
got 3 tanks, hasn't he?
Well, he has. He's got a view that if you can't afford electricity, you probably shouldn't be in the hobby because you can't afford the tank.
Well, that's true. Well, let me I haven't turned my wave makers off.
That's all right.
Yeah, that is true actually.
But I can't believe a Radian just cutting it back by 3 or 4 hours is going to make a massitive difference.
No, it's LEDs. It's quite efficient, aren't the LEDs?
Yeah. And also, you don't. What intensity do you run them at? So you don't run them at 100%, do you? So they're full wattage.
30.
Okay.
About 30 because if I put it at 100% on this tank, it'll boil it like a kettle.
Yeah.
It's a bit overpowered for. Right, I think that's enough. I think.
So I would chuck it straight in by the power head, but I wouldn't. I also
need to. Sorry, Paul.
I say I wouldn't put a whole cube in.
No, I've put. I'd say about half a cube in, but after a water change as well, I always put my eco balance in as well, which I haven't done yet.
So eco balance. Just remind me, what's that supposed to do?
So it adds beneficial bacteria supportive to a balanced environment, gets rid of vibros, so it kind of avoids like dinos and things like that, potential breakout. 100% natural, and it says you should dose it after a water change. So you should do 2 caps of this after a water change in my tank, but I always ever do 1 because I just don't like putting anything close to what they say into the tank, because less is more.
So we're getting comments on here random. I don't know how the comments. I mean, they're quite good. I mean, they're good comments that are coming up. So Haley turns off the pumps, I'm assuming, or puts them on feed mode.
For mandarins, yeah.
Totally agree, because they would just struggle so much. What I used to do was feed all the fish down the other end.
Yeah.
Hopefully have the mandarin down the other end, and then put feed in, and therefore it would get time to feed before the tang and the other fish nick all the food.
They're one of my favorite. Mandarins are one of my favorites. Absolutely brilliant fish, aren't they?
Yeah, they're brilliant. Just the way they hover, don't they? They're beautiful fish.
Yeah, they are beautiful fish. I just love how they move and they skip over the sand. My dragonette, my scooter flame, my flame scooter plenty. Yeah. Sadly lost him, but wow, awesome fish, and I definitely get one at some other point. Yeah.
So there's a comment. There's a comment on here from Cole saying that Eco Balance is crap. So Cole, why is it crap? I mean, I never used it before. I thought something like Eco Balance would be something when you cycle a tank, but I'm assuming it's not for cycling a tank. It's for ongoing, because it's
kind of just to maintain. Yeah, I believe it's for maintaining, obviously, bacteria. Because when you do a water change, because I sift the sand and things like that, so I'll hoover the sand. Obviously, taking out bacteria, so you're then putting bacteria back in. I think it helps with balancing your pH, and it stops things like cyano and it stops dinos. So it's like a preventative measure to stop those things. Whether it does or not, I don't entirely know, but I've not had those, cyano or dinos, whilst every time I've done a water change, just put some of that in after a water change. Yeah. So I don't know if it is crap, but it's never done my tank any harm, and I haven't had those problems. But what else is it doing? I don't know.
Well, if it's beneficial bacteria, it shouldn't do anything negative.
Yeah. I do quite like Dr. Tim's products.
Yeah, I've used one and only to cycle the tank, and also when it's been 2-3 months old, I've put others in. I don't know who's done this, but
I don't know.
It's just whizzing through.
Is it just automatically cycling through?
I don't know. I've never seen it before, because usually we've got someone who's steering the ship.
Yeah, and we're just aboard a ship now. We're aboard the sinking ship without any control here. What's going on?
It's just doing whatever it's like. And Steve's just messaged to say he can't hear a thing.
Well, is he still trying to connect his headphones?
I think he is.
So Eco Balance, that's what I've used. But I've also been looking at what's the other one? Waste Away, because I had a bit of algae. Does anybody use Waste Away, Dr. Tim's, and do you have an opinion on it?
Never heard of it.
Dr. Tim's Waste Away.
So dare I say it? Is it supposed to do what Vibrant does?
Oh, there's a topic. No.
Dare I say it?
Well,
is it supposed to do what Vibrant does?
Hello.
There's a topic.
It's like rewind.
Well, yeah. Steve, you used to be able to do it with just your headphones in. Where's your headphones?
I don't think he can hear us. He's gone on mute because we're not echoing. So you were saying it's not like Vibrant.
No, so obviously that debate about Vibrant, the fact that it's not a bacterial product, things like that, and many people on Reef Dork's live stream, which was really interesting to listen to, saying that it causes major problems in tanks, coral death, and all that sort of thing. I've actually used Vibrant a couple of times. Yeah. Only 1 ml, so it was half the recommended dose. And you know what? I've not had a problem with it.
So I've got a bottle of Vibrant. I've used it on a number of occasions. I must admit, I always dose what it says on the bottle. I don't overdose, and I haven't dosed it for long periods of time because I haven't needed to, and I haven't had a problem. And I've been using it for 2 or 3 years. I have noticed it did clear some bubble algae, but I must admit, I went for an emerald crab in the end because I just thought that was a better longer term solution. So I must admit, I haven't got an issue with it. So, I mean, I saw some of Reef Dorks live stream last week, and I don't know if the issue is it's misleading because what they say is on the bottle was not inside. I don't know. And there was a study on Reef to Reef, but I haven't read the study. And to be fair, I'm not overly fussed because I go by what I use myself, and if it works, I carry on using it. I must admit.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, there's people saying it kills corals. It might do. I mean, there was someone on Reef that said they had a 70-litre tank. 70-litre tank, and their dose Vibrant, and their tank crashed. Now, as Reef Dog said, I don't know if it was down to that. And the 70-litre tank, as you know, what's yours? 70, 75-litre, Joe?
Yeah, mine's 75. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not a lot of water, and things can go out of control pretty quickly. So we don't know what the guy had in the tank. We don't know what his maintenance was. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it's not Vibrant, because you never know. I mean, I've lost 2 torches recently. My magnesium was low. It could have been the magnesium.
Yes.
It could have been that actually of all the 2.
My magnesium was low.
Oh,
it
he's
could have
back.
been the magnesium.
Yes.
It could have been that actually of all the 2. My magnesium was low.
Steve, are you there? Because you're echoing.
Yes. It could have been that actually. My magnesium was low.
Steve, are you there? Because you're echoing.
Really sorry about this, guys. Oh my goodness.
Right.
That's the thing with torches, magnesium. If your torches are looking upset or grumpy or not extending, it's usually magnesium. I had the same problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and also of the 5 torches, 2 died. Those 2 came from the same place, and the other 3 came from somewhere else. They came from the same tank that I bought. So, I can make up theories that say it's not my tank. It's all about the tank they came from, because 2 out of the 5 were bought from this other tank, and they're dead, and 3 of them.
Yeah.
The answer is I don't know. I don't know if it's the magnesium. I don't know if it's just a coincidence about 2 died that come from another tank, or whether it's something else in my incompetence. I've got no idea. What I know is I'm not adding anything else to the tank and just going to let it settle.
Yeah, because a torch death it hits you hard because of the sheer price of a torch. It's upsetting, isn't it? When you lose anything, it's upsetting. But a torch is hard to lose because of cost.
Yeah, there was a mix on that. I must admit, if I get a tank, a coral, and I put it in the tank, in the back of my mind is, how would I feel if I lost it? Yes, I'd be gutted, but would I be distraught? The answer, if I'd be distraught, don't buy the coral.
Yeah.
Because there is a chance that can happen. I think there's some few comments in here about no need to stick all this in your tank. I agree. Carl, I must admit it is there. I haven't used it for a while, but I have used it before and it's worked, and that's why I done an crab instead, because that's a natural way of getting rid of bubble algae, other than on your power heads. But then you can take your power heads and clean them off anyway. So another way of doing that. But if you think about it, anything you put in your tank, so you think you put alkalinity in your tank, you put magnesium in your tank. If you overdose or underdose, that can have an impact, can't it? If you have dodgy RO and you put the RO in, or you put the salt water, so it's the whole range of whatever you put in the tank can have an impact on it.
Yeah. I think it's just to keep testing, isn't it? Whatever you're putting in, just make sure you keep testing, and then you know what the impact is going to be. Just going back to that torch thing. Yeah. So I've got a couple of different torches, and the ones that are doing best are the ones that I picked up. I picked up one from Signature Frags, which is doing really well. But the ones that I picked up from Northern Reef on Instagram, his is doing the best. Now, his torch has been tank bred for over 10 years. And I think that is a major behind the success of a torch. If it's come, from the sea or straight from the sea in Indonesia, you're going to have much more difficulty with it than someone who's tank bred it for a number of years. And maybe that's what you were.
It could have been, because certainly if I look at not the polyps, but they were a lot. The ones I've got are a lot thicker. So there's a green one in there I've had over that tank, and it's now in the other for over 7 years.
Yeah.
And then the other one had come from another reefer, and again that had been in there. And the noodles are really thick. They wasn't thin. Whereas the other two, they were thinner.
Yeah.
Again, it could be I'm reading to nothing, because the ultimately I don't know. But there's things that weren't right. Well, one thing that was not right at the tank was the magnesium, because it took me eye off the ball. I'd been dosing, hadn't been testing magnesium for a while, and when I did, a month later, it's down at 1200. And for whatever reason, it just wasn't dosing.
Yeah, I had. You remember about a month ago, I had the same issue, and then I had to kind of increase in my dosing. And they say that you can take it up. What was it? 100 ppm a day, isn't it, or something? So you can go to 1200, and 100 each day, and try and raise it up slowly.
That's what I was doing. I did it over a space of about 7 or 8 days, so it was less than 100. But I read online, and also a couple of people said about you can go up to 100
ppm
per day. I just decided not to.
Yeah, going back to what you're saying about the tentacles on the torches being thicker, the one of mine that's the healthiest does have the thickest tentacles at the base. Yeah. If I was buying a torch, I'd definitely be looking for that, and I would ask them if it's a tank bred one, because they do seem to have a bit more. Ones in mine have been, when I've had like swings in anything, they're the ones that have just been being able to cope with it. Yeah.
Right, let's have a look at a few comments. So there's in there, Carl saying about most torches die if your algae all over the place. I do test mine weekly, true as well, and it's been okay. It's been a little bit low, about 7, but so I've got it back up to 8.4, but it hasn't been moving all over the place. But who knows? It may not like the level it got to. Stability is key.
Yeah, good point.
This one here, so the zoo has got a comment. Guys, what's your thoughts on using Phosguard and Purigen to help control phosphate and nitrate? So I haven't used either of them. I've used Roaphos.
Yeah,
for phos removal. I've heard of Phosguard and I've heard good things about it, but I haven't used it before.
Is that one of the Seachem products? It is, isn't it?
I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have heard of the other one as well, and I haven't heard anything negative about either of them. That's all I can say. But I haven't used them. I suppose also if both of those are high, what's the cause? So is it your overfeeding? Is your bioload high? Is it tank maintenance, water changes, that kind of stuff? Because a lot of times you can reduce not having to use that by doing other stuff. Now, sometimes if your bioload's high, you may just say, well, do you know what? I'm going to use both of those. So the question I was asked is that.
If anybody's in the chat who's used Phosguard, if we can help him out, and just because I've never used it either. I use Roaphos, and you've got to be really careful with Roaphos because it's blooming keen stuff. That is, you don't need to have a lot of it, and it strips the hell out of your phosphates. You just need the tiniest amount.
So what I've done before with phosphate is use 2 different reactors. So put one reactor in, let that go on, and then a week or 2 later put the other one in, and then rotate them every month or 6 weeks. Because the issue you've got is if it's exhausted, and then you put it back in, all of a sudden bang, and it has probably more an effect, I think, on SPS because you're taking your phosphate down pretty quickly. The thing I hate about Roaphos more than anything else, it is so messy. You have to wash it out quite a bit, otherwise it makes all your tank go the colour of coffee, which is not a good look. You
have to kind of wash it. And what I do as well is mine's just in a media bag. And the water passes through it. But every so often, every time I do a water change and change my filter floss, I just shake the bag around and move it about a bit. And I kind of think that just extends the life of it a little bit longer. And I do that for probably about 2 or 3 months. I use the same Roaphos, and then I'll swap it slowly out then. But
But I came across someone the other day who had a 1,000-litre tank. And what they did, so on the downflow, they didn't have a clarice, just went into a bed of filter floss. They then had a clarice with a pump feeding the clarice. But what happened, they had a reactor with Rowaphos, and that reactor, the tube from that reactor went into the clarice. So all the particles that come out of Rowaphos went into the clarice. So they used the clarity as a secondary part of filtration, and it stopped because sometimes if you use Rowaphos in a sump, I've seen that the bottom of the sump has the granules in it. Yeah. So they was using it to not only clean the water, but also to make sure the particles from the Rowaphos went into the clarice. I thought that was it sounds really obvious. I've never seen anyone do that or heard of someone doing it before. I don't know if anyone in the live stream has done that. But I just thought it was a little bit different because their concern was with a clarice, it strips out loads of the goodness of the tank. So therefore it can bring on dinos and other things because you haven't got enough.
It's such a balancing act between input of nutrients and output of or export.
Yeah,
nutrients.
Absolutely. Right. Let's all go. So Julie, I had torches from different places and the ones I had from private reefers all done well. But I had a couple from Future Frags and they died. Now, I know you've had things from Future Frags, but I sometimes think if you send things in the post, I haven't had a torch in the post before, but I've heard people that have had torches and then done very well that have been in the post. But I don't know. That's what I've read.
I've had a torch in the post and that was fine, but Future Frags, I've not had a torch from them. I've only had my rainbow chalice from them, and that was really good. Yeah. That's still alive, but never had a torch from them. But
you collected them, didn't you? We talked about it before about posting things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're collecting, you got more chance of it surviving.
Yeah, and you also get to see the coloration and things. With a torch, a photograph can look very I think more so with torches than anything, the photographs can be very different to what they actually look like sometimes.
Yeah, I think torches, I've seen some pictures of 24K torches, and then you see them in person, and they're nothing like it at all. They're completely different because they've been saturated so much.
Definitely one of the most photoshopped corals, I reckon.
Yeah. Absolutely. My favourite torch is actually the one I've had for about 7-8 years, and it's lime green, and it's just so bright. And all the other ones I've had, for me, it's my favourite because of the way it's almost like a nuclear green. Yeah, it's just so bright. Out of all of them, it's the cheapest one I've had. I mean, I bought it 7 years ago, so of course it's going to be the cheapest one. But, So just something else. So someone else. So Sets Red Sea Max. No, Reef. There's a mouthful. Definitely agree with Jay about torches. Bought 2 from shops and lost both. 3 I bought from other reefers are doing great. So it's probably not the shops. It's maybe just how long they've been since they might have been chopped up. Whereas in another tank, as you say, they've been there for quite a while.
Yeah, I would. If there's a torch you like on Instagram, just kind of head up another reefer. I think that's the way to go. One that's survived in the tank for a duration of time. Yeah. And, I know Mateus has got a really nice gold torch, but he's in Belgium, but I can't get hold of that one. But that one looks super nice as well.
That's the one where it's only got one head, isn't it? But it's massive. It looks at least 12 or 15. So I remember your face dropping when you said it's one, and therefore you can't frag it for you.
Yeah.
Few comments around stop feeding, water changes. That's a good way of bringing down your nitrate and your phosphate. You don't necessarily need to use Phosguard or anything else for that. Haley, I used Phosguard, did a good job, but then switched to Fauna Marine Phos at 0.04. Be using that for over a year. Laphanum is the easiest way to get rid of phosphate, zero mess and instant. That's good comment there.
Who are they talking about? Phosguard there,
yeah.
It goes, your water change is the most important thing that we all do every week.
Yeah, so
with
I
these things.
I totally cleaned out the sump on the 170, and I must have done about 50 litres. So that's what almost a third of a water change. And
Yeah,
it worked really well. I mean, the corals just, once I'd done the water change, I think we said this before, all of a sudden, all the
yeah.
LPS and all the totally blew up. And that was just by doing a 30% water change. And I know we discussed that. People have mentioned that before about doing a bigger water change on LPS, and it has a big impact. Some other comments. Elegance is my favourite LPS. I know, Cole, you said that before, I think, about elegance. Never had an elegance before. So that's on that. So there's a question, Jay. How many and what cleanup crew would you recommend for a 60-gallon?
60 gallons. Oh my goodness, that's 3 times the size of mine, isn't it?
Yeah. So what I suppose if you look at what cleanup crew have you got, and I suppose you could argue multiply it by 3 if you believe you've got enough, and then you're spot on.
Yeah. I think has my internet slowed down as well? Is it? Am I out of sync again?
No, you're okay now, but you wasn't a minute ago.
Right. Okay. So I recently topped up my cleanup crew from Cellar Marine. So Cellar Marine, he has kind of cleanup crew packs, and I topped up with Astrea snails. I've also got I've got 2 conch on the sand bed, and they are brilliant at turning over the sand and getting rid of anything potential like diatoms or anything like that, especially if you've got a newish tank. I've got some hermit crabs as well, which are good for the algae, but they annoy the other snails as well. They kind of tip them over and stuff like that on their backs and things. They're a bit of a pain, to be honest, but they do quite a good job of cleaning up. What else have I got?
So I agree. I think conches are really good. I think they turn over the sand really well, and as someone's put in there, they just hoover up all the waste. That's our aquarium.
Yeah. Steve's put already stressed.
I know.
I don't know if I need to rejoin the chat.
I think you're okay. What are the snails that go in the sand? Is it Cenarius?
Yeah, I've got those. Yeah, I've got those, and they pop up when as soon as the food goes in the tank. They come to the surface of the sand, don't they, and just pick up all the little bits.
Yeah, I can't believe as soon as you put the food in, they're up in about 5 seconds.
Yes,
they just I don't know, I can't say how they can smell it, but they just know where there's food in the tank. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, the Sarius snails.
Yeah, the Sarius. Yeah, that's the
zoo. And
what's the ones? What's the little black ones that are kind of conical shaped, really small? They look.
Don't know.
Someone will know in the chat. They're black. They tend to be on the glass and the rockwork rather than the sand. They tend to be black in colour, really small, more like an ice cream cone shaped. But they're quite good. They're quite good at polishing. I think you just got to get a range of different cleanup crew and see. Yeah, bumblebee snails. There, I'd like a couple of those, but they're hard to get hold of.
Are they? I haven't had a problem getting them. So I'm assuming Cellar Marine, because that's where you've got your Cellar Marine. You usually go for yours, don't you?
Yeah, that's where I normally get my fish and my livestock and my cleanup crew. I tend to get from Cellar Marine in Stoke-on-Trent. Yeah.
So a couple of people said bumblebee to your response of small black, but they're black and gold, aren't they? So you're not talking about bumblebee in yours, are you?
No, Jackie's got this. Seraph, that's the one.
Right, okay. So someone's saying Nessie Lair's got loads. I'm assuming that's loads of bumblebee snails. Kraken often have bumblebee snails. And of course, if Nessie's got them, they post. I don't know, does Dom Kraken, does he post cleanup crew?
I don't think he does.
No.
I don't think he does. I was wanting to speak to Steve about Kraken, actually, because he went in there.
Yes. Yeah, well, the pictures I saw, it looked like there was loads of people there, weren't there, compared to when we went? Because obviously when we went, it was over 2 days, when it was the whole day, so it spread over a much longer period of time. And we was just coming out of COVID, weren't we? So I didn't know if that had put people off as well. But when I saw the pictures, it looked rammed. And the car park, when I think Don put pictures of the car park on, that was rammed as well.
Yeah, I think when we went, it was over 2 days, wasn't it? And it was kind of and whereas this one was just within a few hours. So
it was 4 hours. So if anyone went to Crackner, put it in the comments. So there's another question here, Jay. It says, gents, can you talk about good acclimation of inverts? As I've heard, it is significantly more than fish or corals, or they are more sensitive. Is this really true? So how do you acclimate your inverts?
Yeah, so I usually, same as what I've done with fish. So I use the drip acclimator. Let me just grab it. I mean, most people have seen it. I just got it off eBay. So let's see.
While you're doing that, so so backshift reefer, I went, was really busy and a good day.
Just wrecking.
Crackner was really good. Shop was rammed. I got there at 2:15 and had to park on the road near entrance. Really, really busy. So while Jay's finding his kit, the way I do it, I just get an ice cream tub.
I can't find it. I haven't bought a fish for a while.
Okay, so what you go and do that. So I get an ice cream tub. I pour the water into that ice cream tub, and then I gradually just use a little pot, and I gradually take the water out, and I put water from the tank into the tub, and I must do that for about 20-25 minutes, maybe every 3 or 4 minutes. I'm taking a small amount of water out, putting water in, until I think I've turned over most of the water, and then I put the cleanup crew in. So I don't drip acclimate. I haven't got the gear for it, and I've never done it that way. So the last 8 years, that's the way I do that. And I find it really, really easy. I do it the same way for fish. And what I quite often do is, if you've got quite a big bag with lots of water, I will drain out a lot of water. So I might only have about 2 or 3 inches of water left in the ice cream tub. Maybe I'll take it down to 1 inch, and that way you can do it a lot quicker. And I just and the pot I use is no more than about that. So I'm not putting loads of water in. I may be doing 5% change, maybe 10%, and it changes over time. So that's the way I do it. So what's other people say? So Carl Reef King says I do the same. Haley, I float the bag, then hop and drop. Hop and drop. I love that. Disclaimer: depends if you know your LFS parameters. That's a really fair point. If you know where, sorry, that comment's just gone off. You need to know, but and it's gone back up again. Some different ways of doing that. I use a Tupperware tub, airline, and a wooden closed peg. Nothing fancy. I do the same as Haley. Interesting, thanks, Paul. I've seen different recommendations. I think, as always, there's different ways of doing it, and people might do it for hours, and if it works for them, that's fine. Most of mine, whether it's fish, coral, or inverts, are all done within about 45 minutes. Airline tube and tie a knot in it and drip acclimate. And Steve is back. Steve,
hello.
Can you
hear me?
Yes, we can. And there's no echo at the moment.
Mate, this computer's going back. This computer's going back to the shop, mate. I'm telling you now.
But I don't know if it's the computer. It's probably the headphones, Joe.
The computer switched off, mate. The computer switched off. Yeah, I sent you the photo of it, just dead. It's just completely switched off, and yet it's full. It's 100% battery. So I don't know whether there's an overheating problem and it stopped, like the sound. I don't know, mate. It's something not right with this computer, but You know what, guys? Massive apologies for this. This has not been the stream I've wanted for sure. You know what I mean? Especially with this giveaway. It's just,
Oh,
God,
of course,
I
I
tell you.
forgot about the giveaway. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
the
glad you're
giveaway,
back.
mate.
Giveaway. It's a giveaway.
Dosing pump.
There we go.
Ah, awesome. D&D as well. Yeah, I've got the P4 one.
Yeah, so obviously, massive apologies once again. It's these technical issues. I always have them. You know me anyway. It's just an absolute nightmare. And apologies. I believe did I have you on mute? There was just listen, guys. You didn't hear half of it. What I said. You know what I mean? I'm going to rewind this back on anyway.
We only heard about 2 or 3 choice words. So if you was loads of sentences, we didn't hear that. I don't know if that's fortunately or unfortunately, but it was funny at the time.
You know what? It's because I see your faces and laughing and all that, and I thought I've said something here. I've said something, and then I've looked back and I see myself on mute. I'm like, oh my god, they heard me effing and jeffing, but no, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So anyway, Steve, just to bring you up
can
to
you do me
speed,
a
we've
favour?
talked. Go on.
Yes.
Can you chuck me out of this? Chuck me out, and then so I can reconnect on a different laptop because mine's gone slow.
Chuck you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 again.
Hey, it's never a dull moment with this Friday night live stream, though, is it? You come here just for a laugh, don't you? Don't you?
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's always well planned, is all I can say, Steve.
Well, yeah, it is well planned, mate. This is it.
So where we got to, someone was asking a question about how do you acclimate cleanup crew, and Jay spent about 5 minutes getting an ice cream tub out and not actually telling us how he does it. In between, I've been waffling on about how I do it. So probably best if we go to you. So how do you acclimate your cleanup crew? And by that time, Jay may have come back and might have got his actual ice cream tub working. So over to you.
Yeah, well, me, it depends on where I get them from and how long they've been in the bag, from transport and stuff like that. But what I tend to do is
Steve, Jay's put a comment in and he's saying, let me back in. So I think he must be there, but you're not letting him back in.
Is that back in? He's not there. He's not on the screen.
Oh, is he? Oh, right.
No. Tell him when is it?
Well, are you in the right stream?
You're not there, mate. You're not even on the screen. It's not on the screen.
Anyway, sorry, go on. I've interrupted you. Go on.
So basically, what I do is I float the bag first in my tank, get it up to temperature acclimated, and then basically I put them in a little 3 litre watering can jug thing, stick it in that, and then basically if it's at say 200 mil, I'll only do it to 200 mil. So you know what I mean? Sorry. So if it's at 200 mil, I'll only do it to 400 mil. So I'll double it. You know what I mean? And then once that's done, I'm not one for taking it slow because I don't want them stressing out. I tend to give it a fairly decent speed, and then I throw them in the tank. And you know what? They all tend to live. So, I mean, people do it different ways, don't they? People say you must do it 40 minutes, 45 minutes, this, that, and the other. I think the most I've done it for is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes the most. But and they seem to live anyway. You know what I mean? But Jay, you're not in here. You're not on the screen, mate.
So basically, the person who's asking the question, you've got 3 different people on the live stream do it in 3 different ways, and it seems to work for all of us. Which how many times do we say loads of different ways of doing it, Steve, isn't there? Of whatever you do in the hobby.
I know a friend of mine. Yeah, he used to just float the bag and basically just do a little couple of cups of water in it and throw them in. And that was it, mate. And it literally took 2 minutes or some 3 minutes. Right, here he is. He's on.
Yeah.
Now you're back, Jay.
Here you go,
he wasn't on it, Jay.
Mate, thanks for letting me back in because after this chat, didn't want me back here.
It was only half.
They were like, get rid of him, sack him off. Sorry about that. So my laptop always has problems with the speed, whereas this is my missus's laptop. She's got a really good laptop, so this will be all right.
So yours, you have to put more 50p's in, DJ, to keep it going.
I'm a tight git. Mine's like a £200 Chromebook, and my missus has got a Google Slate, which is about 800-900 quid, so it's so much faster.
Listen, Don't talk to me about laptops, mate. Don't talk to me about laptops. Yeah. This here, you believe it or not, yeah, is an Asus ZenBook, yeah. Nearly £1,500, mate, and it just shut off. So it's going to be going back to the shop. This for sure. You know what I mean? Because I'm not happy with it. Bit like that KH keeper which went back to the shop, mate. This is going back to the shop. That's it. You know, it's shouldn't be happening. No chance. But,
yeah, I mean, so these people tune in for a professional stream every week from us, and you know, it's we don't want to let down the viewers.
We're consistent.
I had to try everything to get back on here. I was panicking, actually. I was panicking.
So going back about 12 minutes in the chat, or maybe 200 minutes, I don't know. It's quite a while ago. I managed to wire up the ice cream tub. There you go.
There we go. So I briefed Steve. I said that Jay had found an ice cream tub, and that was about it. We haven't got any further. So I'll shut up now, Jay, and let you talk about how you acclimate.
So they obviously come in the bag from the LFS. I pour them into there. I've then got this little drip acclimator from eBay. So that end goes in the tank with a filter on it. In fact, let's just
let's demonstrate.
Not very exciting, but we'll get it started.
So you're going to demo, but you haven't got any cleanup crew.
Yeah, well, that's it. But also, the fish are actually think, oh my God, there's another fish coming in here. Every time he puts this in, there's a new fish coming in.
And they're ready to kill it.
Yeah, I like this because it's got the little clamps on the side. I know it's kind of a bit belt and braces, but it's got the little clamps on so you can leave it there. Then you've got your little valve just to get so you can get the right drippage, as it were. You do have to suck it though.
You want to rephrase that, Jay? You want to rephrase that?
Here we go.
That was nearly as good as the auto feeder.
Oh God!
So as usual, guys, this is not one you should try at home.
Yeah.
Now, you don't spit into the thing, obviously. Right.
Jay, I can't believe you not only done that once, you've done that twice.
Yeah, it wasn't going before. Look, so now it's dripping out. Look.
There you go.
And then I used the little dial here, and then just get it dripping 1 per second.
What'd you do? Did you put it on a stopwatch?
I use my judgment.
Do you? What do you go? What, 1 elephant, 2 elephant. That's more than 1 a second.
That's
1
more
elephant,
than 1 second.
2 elephant, 3 elephant. That is definitely more than 1 a second.
No chance.
What do we think? That is definitely more.
Yeah, more than 1 a second.
That's what the beauty of this is. You can just slow it down. I think this is about £3 off eBay.
How long does it take for you to acclimate your snails? About 7 days or something.
As much as he's salt.
Well, let me tell you, they've doubled in size by the time I get them in.
Yeah, they've laid babies and had eggs.
Yeah, they're turbo snails by the time he steps in.
And then by the time the water's doubled from whatever the LFS water is, I then put them in.
Yeah, Haley said, Jay's dedication is outstanding. I must applaud you for that, Jay.
He puts me to shame with all that.
Outstanding or stupid, I'm not sure which one, to be honest.
Oh, no, outstanding that, mate. Full detailed description of what you do, mate.
Well, yeah, and it takes me usually an hour, Steve. So, yeah, about an hour.
An hour?
Is that all?
Jeez.
A drip a second?
Well, I'd say an hour, maybe. I usually get through about 3 cups of tea.
And the size of the ice cream bucket, it's about half of your tank. What a volume. You have to do
25 litres. It's 25 litres.
Hey.
This one's my fish one. I didn't get me cleanup crew.
Right.
What have you got? Dedicated ice cream tubs? Yeah, depending on whether it's what about a coral? Is that a different one if it's a coral?
Yeah, I use a little Pyrex dish for corals.
Right. So we've got a big tub for fish. We've got a small tub for cleanup crew, and then you got a Pyrex dish. Why a Pyrex dish? I'm going to regret asking this, but why a Pyrex dish for corals?
There's no reason apart from
I've
used it before. and it's worked, so I use it again. That's my reefing philosophy. If I've done it before and it's worked, I just keep doing the same thing.
Are you suspicious by any chance, Joe?
About what?
About things in general. Yes, I mean, yeah, superstitious. Yes,
yeah, I am suspicious as well, but yeah.
Yes, you're suspicious about being
superstitious. I am probably a little bit superstitious, yeah. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I do it. And I don't have many. I've never had any die. I've had snails die, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's not when they've been put in. It's been like months afterwards when they've either died of old age or they've been eaten by another snail or a crab or something.
Hey, I tell you what. Talking about snails, though, yeah.
Yeah.
Past week or so, I seen some huge snails, but loads of them, all on the glass, yeah. And I'm like, what in the hell are these? These things, you know what I mean? Yeah, I've never seen them before. And I'm like, I've not had any cleanup crew or anything to the tank for ages. So, like, where have these come from? And to this day, I don't know where they've actually come from. And they're those are they called stomatella snails or so alive? Stamella tails, yeah. Oh, mate, don't tell me you're mechoing.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just listening to
you. Your face is making me laugh, mate.
I'm thinking, are the snails as big as the chromis?
Mate, honest to God, they're huge. I took some photos, and I've done on my latest video. I filmed them, so you'll be able to see how big they are. They're huge, mate. Yeah, and I haven't cleaned the glass in this tank for over a week because they all come out at night time, and they just suck it. They just completely clean any algae, whatever is on that glass is off. I haven't cleaned the glass for a week, and it looks crystal. Do you know what I mean? And they're called. I didn't know what they were.
Stomatella. Yeah. So you're telling me these large shark-like, as big as sharks, because your chromis are as big as sharks.
Well, no, they're not as big as sharks. No.
Oh, these snails just come out. These snails have come out of nowhere, Steve.
I swear to God, mate, I don't know where they've come from. Like, because you can't buy them from a shop, yeah. You try and buy them from a shop, they don't sell them. They supposedly come in on frags or come in on some sort of, or come in on like rock, some of rock, yeah. Well, I've not bought anything. I've not added any rock to the tank. So where have they come from? Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, I've just got an influx of them. I counted them, and I had about 26, 27 of them, all on the glass and on the back wall. So I don't know where they come from. If any of you guys know where they come up or whether they can lay dormant, their eggs can lay dormant or what, I don't know. I've read that certain eggs can lay dormant for a certain, to get specific parameters right, and then they hatch. So I don't know whether that's it. But I'm at a loss, mate. I don't know where they come from. But they're huge.
Do you know what? Snail tip here. This one's a good snail tip.
A snail tip. Go on. That's the first one I think we've had on the.
No, it's not my tip. It's what I've picked up from somebody else, but I thought it was quite good.
On, Jay.
So whatever you want them to clean, leave it dirty, right? So if they're all on your glass, no, it's serious. If they're on your glass, if you clean your glass, they go onto your back wall. If you clean your back wall, they go onto your sand or your rocks. There you go.
Do you know
if
what,
you want them on your rock,
keep
cleaning your glass and your back wall, they'll be on your rocks because that's where the food is.
There we go. Jay, I haven't been on a live stream for 3 weeks, and all I can say is I've missed you. It's absolute genius.
Top tip. Top tip. You can
navigate
snails by cleaning other stuff, and they'll go onto the dirty stuff. There you go.
It's brilliant.
I've got more top tips coming up soon. You just have to stay.
We should have that every week, shouldn't we, Steve? A top tip.
A top tip by Jay. Top tip by Jay. That'll be good.
When anyone says a top snail tip, you know it's going to be good.
You'll think of Jay. They will.
You know it's going to be really gripping.
It was. It was like super glue.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is true though. That is true. So clean your glass, Steve. Obviously you've got dirty glass. That's why you got those.
I haven't got dirty glass. That's the weird
snails
thing.
Are all over it.
No, because listen, in anybody's tank, you always get a film, don't you, of some sort of it's not algae, is it? I don't know what it is. Well, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's
You
like
can see it from the side best, can't you? If you look from the side on the front, yeah.
And yet, and yet when you look at it from the front, it looks crystal. But then when you look from the side, you see it, and you see like a little film of it. Yeah. Well, there's none of that film on it since these snails have come. There's none of it, mate, whatsoever. They are cleaning that tank. So listen, that's good for me because you know what I'm like, guys. I don't like doing any sort of maintenance on the tank.
I'm worried how many you're going to have in like 3 months' time if they're breeding that quick.
I swear to God, mate, you can't buy them from a shop. You can't get them from a shop. That's the funny thing. Why don't they sell them? Why don't they sell them in a shop?
You should be selling them at this rate. You've got that many breeding.
Jake, you can come down and collect some, mate. By all means, no problem whatsoever there, mate. Yeah, I'll give it. Yeah. Let's see.
That's one thing that's quite affordable, isn't it? Like a snail is normally like £1. That's one of the cheapest things you can buy in this hobby, I think.
Yeah.
Ailey said may have been tiny babies a long time ago. They take ages to grow and will breed in your tank once they reach maturity. That could well be it.
Yeah.
Like you could be very, very correct there. Like you said, I've only just started to see them. I don't know where they've come from, and I've just started to see them like literally within the past week to 10 days. Even the missus says, what's that thing? You know, at first I thought it was a flatworm because it looked like a flatworm on the glass. I'm like, oh my God. Oh no, please don't tell me it's flatworm. And then I looked from the side and it had a shell on it. I'm like, well, it's not a flatworm, so we're okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then I think it was I don't know if it was Nano Tank Reefer. I put it out and he said, oh, it could be Stemella or Stemella.
Yeah.
What Haley just mentioned. And it definitely is a Stemella, Teller, or something it is. The weird names, aren't they? The weird names. Listen, they're just snails.
What's that website where you identify critters on it? It's a really good one. Is it
I don't know.
It's the American website, and you can identify critters on it. And
is it Live Aquarium?
That's it. Is it Live Aquarium? Is it?
That's the one where
Live Aquarium, yeah.
That's really good for fish.
Yeah,
if you put a fish in, you got 9 times out of 10 it will come up with that site and have a great description, usually of the parameters and the size of tank. And
that's it. Safe. Chris Allen said like Aquaria Live. That's it.
That's the one. Yeah, I got it.
Awesome website that is. Check to see if your little snails are on there, Steve.
I will do, mate. Definitely. I've took some photos anyway, so I'll send them over and you'll be able to see for yourself, mate. Trust me. But yeah, I'm just scrolling down here. Yeah, Aquaria Live.
We can change the comments now. This is an upgrade.
Yeah, we got someone back who's hosting. I tell you what, Steve, it was really weird. When you had gone, it was just randomly picking out comments. Yeah. But they were spot on comments. It was almost like you was in the background just picking the comments as we was going through. It was weird. So unless
my lad was doing it, or I was going to smash my computer up.
Well, someone was doing it. Yeah, it was that ghost from a few streams ago.
It might be my lad, actually. He was sat near me, so I bet it was him messing about.
What happened to that filter? That made me laugh. That filter did.
It was the green screen, wasn't it? Do you remember
obviously, his subscription's gone because his background's gone here. He's got where's all the jazz that you normally
have? Cancelled it.
No, I've still got it, mate. I've just not put it on because I was too busy faffing about with it. I've not put it on, mate. No.
Well, Steve, you're paying for it.
I know. I was just messing. To be truthful, Paul, I wanted to be able to get on the stream.
That's a fair point.
You know what I mean? I wasn't actually on the stream for 47 minutes, which is a bit of a bad one, isn't it?
I mean, when you're hosting as well, it's not the best.
No,
exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean, mate.
Yeah, says the person who hosts every week, giving us hosting tips, and he's done it once.
Yeah.
I'll do it once a year. It's enough for me. It's too much. It's too much stress if it goes wrong. I mean, look at Steve's lost his hair already.
That's a
tell
good
you
point.
What, mate. I'm telling you, if I did have hair, if I had this hair like you, mate, you'd be like me now. Swear to God, it's just.
Someone else said my hair's blonde. I don't know where that's
Julie mentioned it. Yeah, before.
Blonde.
You sure your hair's not blonde?
She's saying I'm a bit ditzy, I think. It's been said before.
Oh God.
You got to
I'm just. Oh, Alex here. He's put Steve. Check JB Marine. He sells them, bud. Right, JB Marine. I'll check him. JB Marine. He sells them. They are good cleanup crew. I'm telling you, they're a really good cleanup crew. And Haley's put here, I love critters. They fascinate. You know what they are? They are, you know, snails and stuff. Especially in the Zaria snails, when they come out, when you feed the tank and they come out from the sand and they just like have that technical
like
like
radar,
it's like,
haven't they?
It's like a radar on the top in it, and it just comes out the moment it senses food and they're out for it. You know what I mean?
We were saying that a bit earlier, but within about 5 seconds, bang, they're out, aren't they? They come out. I just find it fascinating. So you're right on that one. Yeah, for sure.
You got a little spot on the tail as well. I don't know why they've got a little spot on the tail.
Yeah.
Mine have all got little spots on the tail. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway.
I've seen some bumblebee snails. Well, I put bumblebee snails. I only put 10 in there. I put 10, and I've seen little tiny. I'm sure the bumblebee snails got a black shell, and they're only like little tiny baby ones, really small ones, and they were moving about. And I was like, oh, and obviously they're that small. I can't get in and pick them out and see what they are. I'm hoping that they're not anything bad, but I'm sure the bumblebee snails, because they only come out in the evening when those ones do. So hopefully they've laid eggs. And they're,
I've got that on the 170 at the moment. And it only seems to happen at night. In the morning, the glass is just covered in white. And I thought obviously when you touch them, you know they're snails, because I weren't too sure if there was astrenas or anything like that, but they were snails, and the tanks just go through a cycle of doing that, it seems, and all of a sudden they disappear and then they'll come back a couple of weeks later.
Right. Sky Marine here, they come in from the wild coral frags. Dipping sometimes doesn't kill the mini snails. Right.
There we go.
So really you could have added a frag ages ago, weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and they could still be on there, and then they've decided to just hatch. So you know what? It fascinates me. This hobby. You know, with things like what happens in it.
Steve, how was Crackner, by the way? Because obviously I haven't spoken to you since then.
It was fantastic, mate. Yeah, I met Matthias. Absolutely packed, mate. It was hammered. It was really busy.
Yeah, it looks really busy. Was some nice pieces
really
there?
busy. Yeah, some stunners, mate. Yeah, some really nice. I mean, all the guys and ladies and who were there selling the frags. They were all really good quality frags. I bought a little red mushroom to go in there. Absolutely stunning. So bright, so bright. It was a really bright red. And I thought, from a guy who was there, really good price. And like you said, it was a really good turnout. You know what I mean? I think Don was happy anyway, because there was a lot of, obviously, he was selling a lot of stuff as well.
That's good. He deserves it, because it's a really good store, and he supports a lot of people and stuff like that. So fair play.
Absolutely. To him. And I think I can't wait till the summer one, because I think they're doing a barbecue and all that there next time, aren't they, as well? So I think that'll be good. That'll be
we're going to go down for a hot dog and a coke.
And they did have a cake. They did have a cade in there as well. You know, they had a cade next to it. Oh, mate, yes.
What size was it, Steve?
Yes. It was the smallest one. It was a smaller one. So I think it was 2 foot.
2 foot cube. No, 2 foot cube.
Is it S1? Is it, I think.
But freaking hell, it was high, mate. It's high. You know, I didn't realise how high it was. You know, like it was. So
what are they? Is it a high cabinet, and then it's
It's a high cabinet, and then it's fairly deep tank. It looked like it was a deep tank to me. You know what I mean? But it was up to my shoulder, mate. It was up to my shoulder, because I said to Jemai, I wonder, like, getting my hand in there. That's a bit, a bit crazy, that. And he said they was quite high, you know, with the way they are. But they do look stunning. They are stunning tanks. Whether they're worth the money, that's another debate to go on.
Yeah.
But the quality of it was really, really good. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, all right, you could get those glass side panels and the glass front. Don't get me wrong, it looks great in reality, yeah. But I've got a big clumsy dog here. Now, the chances of that dog running into that glass cabinet, which he runs into my side of my tank, and it's got doors on. You know what I mean? I'm thinking, surely it's got to be strengthened glass of some sort. That, you know what I mean? Because I said to him, "Is this toughened glass?" And he went, "Oh, I don't know. I assume so, because it's all glass." So
the doors on it?
The doors.
The doors are glass, are they?
They're all glass, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So they're not.
Yeah, it's glass.
Black glass.
Yeah, it's like black. Yeah, it's like blacked out glass. It's like blacked out glass.
Right. So where was your Red Sea behind you? That's wood with laminate.
They're
on.
wood laminate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're actually glass. I missed the point. So they're glass doors.
Yeah, the glass doors. They're made of glass doors. Yeah, and the side, and the sides where they open, where the actual electric power bar is. Yeah, that's where you can pull it from the side. They're glass as well. So it's all glass on a steel frame, on a steel frame sort of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks quality. It's nice, but I mean, would I have glass?
How much was it then?
I don't know. It didn't have a price on it.
There you go.
So I'm assuming it's got to be well over 2,000. It's got to be over 2,500 for that. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I thought the smallest one was about 1,500, but I might have got my numbers wrong.
That might be a small. This was a decent size one, mate.
Oh, was it a decent? Right. Sorry, I think it was a 2 foot cube.
I think it was slightly larger than that.
Was it? So maybe it's a 3 foot. Yeah.
It might be a 3 foot actually. Yeah. It's
But when you're talking about a powder coated frame, they're not cheap. But let's face it, they're not going to bow, are they? You're not going to have any problems. They're going to be, I wouldn't say bulletproof, but they're going to be sound, aren't they? And then you're talking about glass doors, so of course you're not going to get any water damage on those.
No. I mean, listen, if you was to get if the choice was to get a wooden stand like that, or a like you said, a carbon coated proper thing, no doubt about it, you go for the stand, and that's where the money is, isn't it? You know what I mean? Let's be honest.
Those stands are not cheap. Yeah.
No, exactly. They're not cheap. And then obviously you've got that crystal clear. I don't know what the glass is. Is it ultra crystal? Whatever it is, that the glass. So it's super. So there's not much carbon in it, is there? As in so it makes it even more see through. So I'm not. I assume that's not cheap either. You know what I mean? The glass, and then it's like the shipping cost, because I believe like shipping containers was like 3,000-4,000 quid. They've got to like 16,000 now, mate. Yeah. So that's the difference. You know what I mean? So they've just got to hammer the shipping costs on it.
Howard's put in the comments £2,699 for the 900 millimeter. So that's the free.
That might be that one.
3 foot.
Might be that one.
So so basically you're saying you've got a high cabinet on that, and I must admit, having the I've talked about it before, the DD Reef Pro, the cabinets are high. They're much higher than these ones here.
Yeah.
I would now not want to get a tank that's got a low cabinet. It's much easier getting in the DD one than that one. I know you say, well, how often you have to get in there, but when you're in there messing around and you're cleaning it out and you want to see what's going on with your clarity and blah, 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 and all that, I think it's a benefit.
Here we go. Chris Allen. I've seen Chris Allen. He was there, Lancashire Reef. It's the S2. It's the 600. It's
1900 for that.
So it's still 2,000 quid, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the 2 foot tank.
Does it look 2,000 quid? Does it look it? Because you're saying it looks premium, but does it look that's a lot of money.
I mean, it's a lot of money, mate. I mean, when you look at, like, say, the 170, the Red Sea 170, I had the Red Sea 170, and I thought that looked nice, and it looked premium, it looked quality, and it did. Don't get me wrong, And what are they going for now? About 1,100, 1,200? 1,100.
Are they? How much are they? 1,100, you say?
No, I said, are they going for 1,100?
I don't know.
About that,
So let's say they are 1,100, say, for instance, is it worth spending over £800 on that one? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what you got, because it's still 2 foot in it. It's still a 2 foot tank. So it's like, would you save the 800 quid and buy all extra gear with it? So like a better light, a better skimmer, a better system. Do you know, these are the things you got to weigh up in it. You know what I mean? So
the Red Sea Reef, sorry to interrupt, right? I think they're doing the 170. So this is on Charterhouse Aquatics, but I'm sure it's probably the same across all of them. They were 899 and they're down to 799. Now, I'm sure I've seen other shops reduce the price. And I wondered, are they reducing the price because they're going to bring out a full version of the sump or something? Because you don't usually see a discount of 100 quid across the board unless you're going to do something. Unless they're going to do away with the 170, because obviously you've got the 200. The 200 is the 200 a 2x2, isn't it? Whereas the 170 is slightly narrower from the front to back. So I've got the one the 170, and it's definitely narrower than the DD. So I wonder if it's that. But that's not bad, is it? 799.
That's 799 quid.
Really
That's
good.
really good.
For
That's
the
really
Red
good,
Sea 170. Now I don't know. I mean, it's a big difference in price between that and the Cade. Obviously, the Cade's a bit bigger. It's a little bit higher, and you've got different materials, haven't you?
Yeah.
So whether can you compare it? I don't know, Steve. Whether you compare it, I don't know.
Listen. I mean, I love my 170. Don't get me wrong. And if he had enough space, I would probably buy another one of them, and shove it in because it was great. It did what it needed to do. And for 1,900 quid, like we go back on there, 1,900 quid. So that's £1,200, £1,100 more than what the Red Sea is. Is it £1,100 worth? Well, if you can justify like the stand, aluminium stand and glass doors for another 1,100 quid, because that's really all you're getting, isn't it? Extra, like different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not getting anything else different. That's all you're getting. So I don't know. I couldn't justify that. No chance. Not really. Not me personally. I couldn't justify it. But I'm not saying that they don't look quality, because they do look quality. They do look good quality.
Yeah,
and if you've got the money,
yeah.
no objects, and you're not really bothered about spending money, go for it. 100% go for it, because it will look a showpiece in your house for sure. And like you said, Paul, spillages. It's not going to rot. It's not going to rot the wood. It's not going to do anything, because you know what I mean. I would definitely go for it, but I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for sure. And imagine what the larger ones are like. Right, God, Bennett, mate. They must be like £5,000.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
absolutely. It's one of those, isn't it? About depending on what price range you've got and what you can afford. Then if to some people you think so what and just get it.
yeah,
but like we said before, you got to pay. I mean, let's face it. You buy a Red Sea Reef for 170 for like 799. You then got to build all your kit. You buy your kit. That's not going to be much different to 799, is it? If you put a decent let's face it. You put one of Jay's lights on there. How much is that like? The XR15. That's about 4. Is it? And then you got your mount. And then you got the cover as well. So I think because you gave one of these away, wasn't it about 425? So that's 425 for the light. You've got to do your return pump. You've got to do your power head. And that's without anything else you can think of. You're talking about at least $1,000 on top of that, aren't you? At least, just to get it wet. At the very least.
Chris brings up a good point here, actually, as well. Yeah, with this, this power box, this power bar box, which is on it, I mean, for that price, you would have thought that it would be switchable, wouldn't you? So you would be able to switch it from the right side to the left side. Yeah. Well, you can't. It's fixed. So it's on one side. So it might be on the right. It'll be on the right hand side. Yeah. So if you're putting it in near the wall, that power, but you won't be able to use it. You know what I mean? So it's just, I can't understand. For the love of, I can't understand why they didn't switch it over so you could alternate it. So if you're putting it near this wall and you've got a gap on your left hand side, why not be able to take it out and put it on that side? You can't. It's fixed, I believe. So
one of the reasons I think for that, Steve, is in the UK we tend to put our tanks in corners against walls. I think Nick was saying when he was on the other week that a lot of other countries, certainly in the States, they don't. They'll go more in the middle of a room. It might be against the wall, but it'd be in the middle. So if you look at this one, that's against the corner there. That's against it's in an alcove. So I wouldn't be able to get that. But in the States and other places, they tend to put them more centered, so you can get around all three sides. And of course, if they're making those for the US market, they won't care what we do in the UK, will they? Maybe it's I don't know.
But I totally agree with with what you're saying. But if you're bringing it over into the UK to be a market product, then you'd think there'd be some sort of, where you can alternate it. You know what I mean? Because they know, like you just hit the nail on the head there. We have alcohols. That's where our tanks tend to go in. You know what I mean? Is in alcohols, little small spots. So I don't know. I mean, unless you've got a big house and you've not got against the wall, then you should be okay.
And you've got a lot of money.
And you've got a lot of money.
Well, there's that as well. Right. I think Gal pointed out the time because, of course, you've got to do a giveaway. And you usually do it about now, Steve. And of course, right. Go on.
Right. we need to come up with a thing. What should we put? Should we put like P1 doser? We'll put P1 doser as the comment. Yeah, what you've got to leave on the comment. P1 doser, and it's now 9:25. We're going to give it to 1:45. So 9:45, it's going to get stopped then. So anything after 9:45 on this list that we're going to see is not going to be counted. So we'll put P1 doser, and then obviously I'm going to have to type in this thing on my phone, and then we'll do it like we usually do it.
I've got to say, you're a lot calmer than you was last time when you did the Radiant, Steve.
Mate, listen, I'll never do that again. You know, like when it's on like Instagram and thing, because it was just so confusing, mate. It's like I'd have to get a PA to work with me or something. You know what I mean? I'd have to get someone to help me.
So what would you put on that doser then, Steve? If you had that doser, what would you put on it?
Well, it's only a single doser, isn't it? But I mean,
what would you put on it? Do you think?
I've got this. I've got one of these anyway.
Yeah,
I've got one of these, and I run the when the pH keeper takes the water out of my tank. Yeah. Rather than putting that water back in, I've told you this before. I put salt water back in.
Yeah, you have.
So literally like 20. It's only like 20 liters. It takes freaking God. I think it's about 4 weeks or something, 3 weeks for it to fill it up. So you know what I mean, to be emptied. So I do that, but these are really accurate, mate. Yeah, really, really accurate, these things. So I would, if you was dosing, I would say
I would do all for Reef. So if I was starting up, I had a tank. You haven't got much room.
Absolutely,
it's quite a small tank. You put that in your cabinet. Maybe it's a Red Sea Reef 170 or a 2 foot 3 tank. You put that in there, all for Reef. Bang, you've sorted, aren't you?
100%, mate. 100%. Or like say like if you use like amino mixes or something like that, you know, where you're putting the mixes in because you've got a heavy bioload of like corals or something.
So Matthias is asking, is it UK only? Stay.
Go on, Steve. Come on, let's send it international if he wins.
What's the weight of this? What's the weight of this?
He's going to calculate.
You know what? I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it international as well. Yeah, so
do it international, mate.
Yeah, I'll do it international.
We can all chip in if we need to.
I was just about to say, yeah.
We'll do international. Then we'll go for it. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead.
We'll split the postage, so you're not left out.
We should be all right.
I love my D&D doses. Absolutely love my D&D doser. It's never missed a beat. Always works. Dead reliable. Always easy to connect.
Exactly.
And that little P1, if you've got a nano tank or anything quite like you said, 2 foot, all for Reef on that would be brilliant on it.
So what have you got then, Jay? Have you got a 3 head or a 4 head doser?
I've got the P4.
Right, so 4.
So it's exactly the same, obviously, but just got four dosing pumps. And I've never had an issue with it. It's just a classic D&D product. Super reliable. Works as it should do. Easy to connect to it. Not like the Mobius app on my lights. I've never once not been able to connect to my doser. The app's great. You've got simple. You can set up a plan. You can kind of, what's the other one where you can get rid of the airlocks. I forgot what it's called now. Like prime the line. And
you prime it, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Great app. Absolutely love it.
So what app is it? Has DD got their own app?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I'll show you. Yeah. So you do have to connect it to your it's on your Wi-Fi. So you do connect it to your Wi-Fi. So I'll show you the app now. But it's a brilliant little product. So
just shows you, doesn't it, about the simplicity of apps when you've got something like DD, and I know you've been quite critical of Mobius.
This is a phone on a thingy screen, but so you can see that
it's so easy to set up, isn't it? That's the thing. So easy to set up. You know, it's really good.
You've got your bottles. It tells you how high, how many days you've got left in your bottles.
Does it send you a warning when it's low, or is it just a case you look at it? So it'll ping you a message, will it? If you've got, say, I
believe so. I've never let mine get too low. So as soon as it gets anywhere near like 20 days, I just top them up.
Yeah. That's really good, because you could easily forget, couldn't you? And then all of a sudden you've got 20 mil to do, and it's got 15 mil, and it sends you an alert. I mean, that if he did do that.
and then you've got obviously your daily dosing. So obviously I've only got a little nano, so you've got like 1 mil of the 1 mil of aminos, 1 mil of magnesium. So this would obviously just have the one line.
Yeah.
And then you've got you can manually dose. So if you just need to top up something, you can do that with the manual dose menu.
That looks so simple.
It is. That is exactly, and that's why it's so good. It is super simple.
Yeah, it is.
So great price, Steve. Really good price on this one.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just mention Galgal as well. Yeah, for Galgal actually donated it, so massive thanks to Galgal as well.
Oh, nice one, Galgal.
He donated it when he came to Kraken Corals. I met up with him. So yeah, massive shout out to Galgal for that. Really appreciate it, mate.
Thank you so much, Galgal. Thank you. Really appreciate that. That's very generous of you. Really appreciate it.
Jay, there's a question in the comments. It says, do you regret your purchase of the Radiant, given that you only run it at 30%? Do you wish you had tried the Reef lead first? Because you had that light came with it, didn't it?
That's a really good question, actually. And I'm not a person who can compare them because I never actually switched the Reef lead on. I sold it to fund the Radiant. It never runs at capacity, but the reason why I got it was because I knew this was a stepping stone to a larger tank to come, obviously in the future, and this light allows me to be future ready, as it were, and I can migrate to a new tank. And based on the BRS TV video, it's the best coral growing light, apparently. I mean, I can only go on what they say, because they obviously do all those lab tests, and they have all the different lights and different settings. Apparently, the Radian XR15 Blue is the most popular light that people buy, and it's the best coral growing light. So that's why I bought it, but also that I could move it onto another tank, and then I can always transfer it over. That's why. But so no, I don't regret it. But I do think that Reef Lead 50 would do just as good a job, probably.
After getting shunned a little bit when they first come out, those Red Sea lights have now got quite a good reputation. I know a few people that grow SPS and all kinds of coral underneath them. Never tried them before myself, but I can only go by what people I know say.
Yeah. I know I moan a lot about the app on the live stream, but it's only because when I'm on the live stream, that's when I'm messing with the lights. The rest of the time, it's just running. So I don't moan about my app all the time. It's purely when I'm changing it for the live stream. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's it. I mean, really, like with your lights, it's really set them and forget them, innit? You know what I mean? Yeah. Really, that's all you. Yeah. But somebody did mention in the stream before. I don't know which one you are, so apologies. Whether I have changed my light setting, and I have changed my light setting. I mentioned it before. I changed it to the Saxby. But all I've done is I've changed it so it's more whiter. But I've also changed it so there's no reds and there's no greens. So I took out all the greens and the reds, but I've left everything exactly the same. So the strength, the power, everything is all the same, apart from there's no greens and there's no reds running on it. It just promotes algae, and I did it in the past with the 170 with the reds and the greens, and it was just like no, because it did promote algae. You know what I mean? So, but it was trial and error. I was learning on the job sort of thing. So,
do you keep your whites down as well? Do you keep your whites down?
I've kept the whites and everything exactly the same as what he set it at. So I've done it exactly the same. And the corals love it, mate. They really do. They really do. They took to it really well. So I'm just going to keep it at that and see. And like you said, it's just a set and forgetting it. That's the only time I've changed my lights. What? Other than like a little bit of power, like moved them up a little bit. But the actual schedule has always been the same. Always, Other than like tweaking it or move up 1 or 2% or something like that. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? And
that schedule there has been the same since day one. The only time in the early days I used to set it so it would be on Acclimation with some corals, and I would do that for a 2-week period. But that's when I first started out. But other than that, it's been exactly the same. Didn't feel the need to change it. And in the tanks in the garage, I don't change the lights on that. So Mobius, I hardly ever go into it, whether it be for the power heads or your return pump you don't usually change anyway, and the lights. So I couldn't really say if it's a good app or not, because once you set it up, as you say, you plug and play.
I mean, because I always said, like, when these lights die, would I unless AI brought out another light, I mean, I would have probably bought the 64s, but then I thought to myself, well, you know, maybe a change of scenery or change of different lights, and I was going to get like the Radions, but the Mobius app just knocked me. I just thought, nah, I can't be bothered with, you know, connection and stuff like that. I can't be messing about with that. But I would probably go for like the Reef Factory ones, you know, the Reef Factory ones, those slim, they look really cool. Dom's got them set up in his, you know, up in Cracker Coral. He's got some over a couple of the tanks, and they look stunning. They look great, but the light, wow, the light looks really good as well. So I would probably go for like 2 of them rather than having 3 over it. You know what I mean? I'd probably go for 2 medium-sized ones and do it that way. But hopefully these will last me a little bit longer, and because like you said, it's an expensive hobby without things breaking down.
Well, you should do it. LEDs. I mean, again, I think that these ones I've had since day one as well. So these lights will be about 7 years old. Well, it'll be 7 years old in August. Wow. And they're Gen 3 Radians, and they work. They'll grow SPS and everything. So, you know, if I was saying to someone about setting up a tank and they want something like Radians and things, I'd say go Gen 3. There's nothing wrong with Gen 3. They will definitely have no problem with SPS at all. So I've got 230s, 115. Spread is fine. It grows SPS as it should. I mean, okay, when I compare it to the Gen 4s in the garage, you got a bit more disco lights on that than you have on the other. And the lights a little bit whiter, although you can make them blues. I just like whiter lights on that tank. But Gen 3s are really good, and you can pick up second-hand Gen 3s, I think, for about 150, 180 quid. Obviously, it comes with a risk because they could go and you've got no warranty on them. But
exactly.
If you were setting up like a 170 and you want to buy second-hand gear, you could save a hell of a lot of money.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. For sure, mate.
And that's what you did as well, wasn't it, Paul? You bought all the gear that's behind you there. That was all second-hand, wasn't it? Yeah,
we went as a family on a Saturday night, stayed in a Premier Inn, went to the house where we was buying a tank from. We drew 2 cars up there, and we dismantled the whole tank from Derby to bring it down to Essex. Brought 250 litres of water as well. There was fish. There was about, how many fish was there? Maybe about 15 fish. There wasn't many corals, so that was quite lucky. There was the apex, there was the nurse skimmer, the whole works. A guy had it for about 4 months and decided to close it down. I know it was 4 months because the Red Sea Reef had only been out 4 months, and he was closing it down. So I bought the whole works. I know there was loads of. I had enough Red Sea product and salt and everything to last me about 6 months as well. That's how I got into Nopox and the Red Sea A, B, and C. And there was the Dos Dosa, everything. I didn't have to buy anything else. There was sand in the bottom that I left in the bottom, so I didn't have to buy any more sand. And that was it. And we didn't lose any fish whatsoever.
That's the thing to do, isn't it? Wait for somebody who's splashed the cash and spent thousands and then selling it all secondhand.
Yeah, and this will be
after you save a fortune.
Oh, it was. I must have got everything for less than 50% of the retail price.
And you know what though, I feel sorry for people, like, you know, when they do it, like, I don't, certain circumstances,
that's a lot of money.
You might lose your job, or you might lose your house, or, you know, some things happen, don't they? And then when you've invested all that money and time, and you know, and you really want to get into it, sort of thing, and then all of a sudden you shut your tank down like that. I've had mates who they come round to my house. I swear to God, on my life, they come round, they see my tank, and they've gone, Steve, can you help me set one of them up? And I went, whoa, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Just research it first before you even commit, because don't think I'm going to be coming down to your house all the time, fixing it all up, you know what I mean? Because that's what would happen, you know, with my mates. Oh, no, we'd be good. So 2 months later or a month later, I've read up. I definitely want
no
one.
chance.
Right, okay then. Mate, one of my mates set up a tank. He spent about 4,000 quid or something setting it all up, He got the Red Sea Reef for 250. and he went straight, and he got the Radions. I think it was the
Top
Gen
end
3s
stuff,
or
yeah.
Gen 4s. It was, sorry, Gen 4s, two Gen 4s. It was like he spent a fortune and all that, and it was the same again. He had it 6 months, and that was it, mate. He sold it off. Yeah, he sold it. He said, and I should have bought it all off him. You know what I mean? But I thought, when am I going to store it? You know what I mean? I should have just bought the whole thing off him. It wasn't even a scratch on it, and I think he sold it for like he spent like £4,500 or 4,000 quid on it, and he sold it for like £800-900.
Yeah,
in 6 months, mate.
That's
I was
nuts,
like,
isn't it?
yeah, it's just madness, mate. That's what people do, you know. They dive into it and they don't do the research. They don't understand the extent of what's to be expected of them. You know what I mean? At the beginning, it's tough. You know what I mean? You've got to keep on top of your water parameters and everything. But over time, it gets a lot easier. I think it gets a lot easier once it's established.
But also, if you set up a tank, you throw fish in, you use ATM colony, you put the lights full on, you got full filtration and stuff like that. You know what's going to happen. You're going to get dinos, you're going to get greenhouse algae, your ugly stage. You look at it and you think, that's just ugly. Why did I bother doing that? And then the effort it'll take to get through that, people just put their hands in the air and go, I've had enough.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, Paul. Yeah, is people don't want it. Certain people don't want to do the effort. They don't want to get their hand in and clean that, scrape off the algae. You know, pull the algae off. Yeah, get as much nutrients out of the system as you can. Yeah, they want to just they want to set it and forget it, sort of thing. Like, is it going to turn into like my tank or your tanks? You know what I mean? Straight away, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? And you've got to and no matter how many times you say it to certain people, especially my mates, you know what I mean? I say it to them, and it goes in one ear and comes out the other, because they just think, oh, yeah, we're right, you'll look after it.
Your mates aren't watching this.
I've got you. You can be watching it, lads. You can be watching it.
But I just say they're a luxury item, aren't they now? I mean...
With the cost of everything going up, it's definitely...
The cost of everything, life is so expensive. To have something like this still in your house is very much a luxury item. Yeah,
and you can see why people are buying the smaller tanks now. We touched on it last week, but when I spoke to a couple of shops, they're selling a lot more smaller tanks than they were. Yeah. People are not going for the 525s, the 5 foot tanks are 6 foot. They're going for the nanos, the 170s, maybe the 250. Yeah, and people are downgrading as well just because of the cost, not just electricity, it's everything that goes with it as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, just the price of corals, they just seem, all of them seem to increase, don't they, over time, obviously.
Gal put, I'll cover postage. Gal, you've done enough, mate. We'll cover
that.
Mate. Don't worry about that, Paul.
Don't worry, Steve's got it, don't you worry.
Yeah, I've got it. Don't worry about it.
Says Jay.
Jay will send you a box of Yorkshire tea with it as well.
Tight-fisted I am, Steve. You know that.
Hey, no, you're not that bad, mate. You're not that bad. You're a good lad.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Right, so I think I'm near enough.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes.
Everybody.
So what I'm doing is I'm now at 9:29. So the last person
you've got a few more. The last one I've seen is 9:37. So you haven't got to MK Reefer yet. That's the last one I've seen. And then when we call time, one of us will put in the comments.
So make sure you say it 9:45. That's the last one. So
we've got 2 minutes left.
If you're 9:46, guys and ladies and gentlemen, you won't be entered. So make sure it's in. Yeah, make sure you're in. So let's see. I'm just scrolling down now.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Well, like you said,
giveaway. Someone's signing me up for a giveaway here. It says Jay can do a giveaway of a box of tea. I would never give away a box of tea. Jeez, it's too precious. I've actually, this is a bit weird, but I have to, not that anyone's interested, but I have to drink decaf Yorkshire tea now. So I drink that much of it. I can't actually drink hard stuff anymore. So bad.
I do want to mention Jonathan Batshif Reef. I seen him. I had a good chat with him, but he was there at the.
Was he there? Oh.
Yeah. But he was at Kraken. Yeah, had a good chat with him.
He wasn't there when we went, was he? Because I wanted to meet up.
I don't think he was.
I don't know. You know,
he wasn't.
Was he not there? No, right?
No.
No, very knowledgeable guy, that lad. I tell you, he knows his stuff for sure. Jonathan does.
That's the good thing about it. It's the people
Yeah.
that you meet, isn't it? You know, all the little chats
Yeah,
you can have.
absolutely.
I missed it. I wish I was there because I like just socialising with the people.
Yeah, that's it. Right, so I'm now at Cottage Reef.
No, you're not at the end yet.
Cottage Reef, I am.
No, there's one MK Reefer,
Reef
and
was the last-
937 is the last
Cottage Reef.
one.
No, Cottage Reef.
That's
is
Cottage
the
Reef
last-
after.
Yeah.
Cottage Reef's
44.
after, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
MK Reef.
Do you see MK Reef?
Oh, yeah.
Cottage
got
Reef,
him,
yeah,
got
yeah.
him.
944
Yeah,
is Cottage
MK
Reef.
Reef.
Yeah.
Yeah, got him.
Have you got that one as
miss him
well?
out. I've got
Well
him.
done, Steve.
And then
You've
Cottage
got a
Reef.
thumbs
And
up
then
from me, mate, for this. You've got a thumbs up from me.
Yeah, let's get those thumbs up in.
Get a thumbs
Hey,
up.
mate.
This is-
Yeah, everybody.
You are the king of giveaway. You are the giveaway king.
He is. Yeah. For sure. Radian, you can't top that. I don't think I've seen anyone top that unless you're
I'll never
a
top that,
massive
mate.
YouTuber that's being sponsored by someone.
Hey, exactly, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, no sponsorships here. We're just on.
Right, so that's it now. Time. Galgal's
Yeah.
Galgal's put it down. Time. Yeah, so it's let's see. Just go double check to make sure that I've gone, but that I've not missed anybody because I don't want to be.
So
There's
what
a
have you
lot
got?
anyway.
Yeah, have you got the Wheel of Fortune? You're going to do it on that, are you?
Yeah, I've got the Wheel of Fortune, mate. Yeah.
Spin the wheel, yeah. Spin the wheel, Steve. Poetry Witch says spin the wheel. Here we go.
Right. Let me see which way I'm best off doing this. There we go. Yeah. Right. So what I'm going to do,
Go full screen. Stay and take the comment off.
I will do. I'm going to try and turn this light down so it's not as bright. Let's see.
As Galgal says, fingers crossed, everyone.
Yeah.
So I've got here now 54, 55, 54 entries on here now. It's got in here. So let me just go on my light, and then I've got a focus, Anna.
And you got to take the comment off, Steve.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Just makes it easier. That's all.
I do look. I can't not watch you and start laughing, Steve. You make me laugh all the time.
I take it as a compliment, Steve. He's not insulting because you could take that the wrong way easily.
I know I could take it the wrong way.
No,
right.
I'm being nice about it.
You might have to angle it a little bit. Oh, I don't know. And I can't see it. All you got is a glare.
It's a glare, isn't it?
Yeah, what is
Can
that?
you take it back a little bit?
Ah,
Oh, there you go.
there we
That's
go.
it. Perfect.
Oh,
Don't
it's
move.
got all your graphics on it.
Yeah.
You see it? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
got the actual. Oh, you. Oh, yeah. What the hell, man?
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
This is. You know what? You don't get anything like this on a Friday night, do you? Oh.
And it's live.
Right.
There you go.
No, that's it. Don't move.
Hold it there.
That's it. Go.
Good luck, everybody.
Don't move, Steve. There we go. Ooh.
Ooh.
UK
Reef Pro.
Hey!
We have him.
Well done.
Congratulations.
UK Reef Pro, congratulations. You are the proud owner. And let us know what you're going to plan on doing with it. Yeah, let us know what you are going to put on it. The P1. So massive thanks to Galgal again for the giveaway. And
thank you,
congratulations to the UK Reef Pro. Congratulations. So, nice.
Awesome result. Oh, he's delighted there.
That's brilliant.
Stick his comments
UK
on, Steve.
Where is it? Let me
Maybe it's
see.
Friday.
I'm trying to find him.
He's called UK Reef Pro.
No.
I tell you what, there's another top tip from Jada. I tell you, he's
Give you a
just,
top tip. There you go.
just absolutely full of them this evening.
I tell you what, I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10 for giving tips, mate.
It's been a long day, mate. I got up at 6 this morning. It's been a long day.
Mate, listen, I've done a 62-hour week this week, mate. I'm
Wow.
saved 62 hours this week. Shattered today.
That is a bit ridiculous.
You know what? I actually went to bed earlier on, for an hour because I was I said if I'm on the live stream, I'm going to be
have a nap before the live stream.
I'm going to be falling asleep, mate. Seriously, I thought I'm going to be conking off here, and then I couldn't even get. And then I couldn't even get on the stream myself, and it was my stream.
He barred himself.
Hey, barred myself from joining.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So congratulations.
Yeah.
Loads of congrats, and that's
a lot of love in the chat.
It's about. I'm sure there's going to be some more giveaways for sure coming up. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll get some. Well, you are the giveaway king, so I'm sure you'll be able to get something lined up, Steve.
Hey.
So no volunteer from Jay. Go on, Steve.
Another tip from Jay.
Don't do a giveaway.
Can't give them all away this Friday. I've got to save some for weeks ahead. So
I appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it.
No.
So yeah,
there's such a nice group of people around this chat.
Yeah. And that's it. We always, he said his
if I didn't win, I'd be furious.
So he's put down that he's going to be putting it on his flag tank. That'd be perfect. Absolutely, be perfect.
Oh yeah.
Flag tank.
I tell you what, Jay, you should have a word with the Reef Dog because he does all these live streams and he doesn't give anything away, does he?
I know, yeah.
We should all message him, shouldn't we, and say, "Oh, you earn a lot of money on YouTube." Well, he probably doesn't, but we should say he does. And he should give something. We should give something away. So, do you know what? I'm going to message him and said that Jay said that everyone said that he should do a giveaway. I mean, it's on every Sunday. There's no excuse, is there?
No.
Because then, Jay, you got a chance of winning a freebie on a.
Cheers to Zoom. Thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, get yourself off to bed. 5 hours and he's up for work.
Oh, thanks for watching.
Fair play, mate. Thanks for joining us, pal. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining, buddy. Appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend of reefing.
Bacterial Reef's put new side video to Jay's real.
He could do it as a newsreader, couldn't he? Put his glasses on. Here is the news.
Oh, come on. Aquarium's put, oh well, Bacterial Dosing vibrant in a squeezy bottle. Oh, come on, mate. Making me feel guilty now. I'm going to probably go out and buy another. I'll buy one myself now and give it a giveaway. What the hell? Come on. Yeah, no, it is. It's one of those things. Made my night. You know what? And that's what it is.
And that's what it's about. Laughter is the best medicine. And on a Friday, everybody just wants to laugh, don't they? It's the end of the week. You just want to
and you definitely get a laugh on this channel, don't you, for sure, mate? Yeah. If you don't go away from this channel not laughing, there's something wrong with you, mate. You know, there's always something wrong, isn't there? There's something wrong with you if you're not laughing.
Okay, is that a formal diagnosis? If you don't laugh at life, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, Dr. Steve.
Something wrong with it. If you don't laugh when you go away from here, there's something wrong with you, mate. That's coming from me.
This is Steve's clinic. To be fair, I did laugh when you thought you were on the live and you shouted your obscenities. See, told you, mate.
Yeah, so if you've got any health problems, then please put them in the comments and Steve will answer them.
Yeah, Mini25 said he's only just joined. What have you missed? Go back and rewind it and you'll be able to find out what you missed. You've missed a hell of a lot and you don't want to miss it, so trust me. Rewind it, watch it on the repeat.
You've missed a very professional stream. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
And it was scripted down to the last 30 seconds.
Scream.
Wow. JC's Reef, late here in South Africa. Have a great weekend. Oh, massive thanks for watching, mate. Wow, appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, liking that logo. Yeah, South Africa.
Wow.
Liking that logo as well.
Yeah, the logo.
That's a nice one.
Nice to have an international viewers.
Brilliant.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Absolutely. Is pretty cool. Ironing board next up for a freebie. Don't think the missus will like that, mate. No, she's not going to like that. Missus won't like that.
That's just you're not using ironing boards, Steve. I've seen you a couple of times.
He does. He uses it to dance and to rest things on.
I was gonna get it to smash my computer up before, but it is what it is.
That's true. That is, Julie. That sounds like something I would say. It does.
Oh God, might get one for the peninsula. I only dose all for Reef, so
makes sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Get the all for Reef. Yeah, the all for Reef. Absolutely, get one of these pumps. You won't have a problem with that. I swear to God, they're fantastic.
How much are they? Just out of interest.
60, about 65 quid, aren't they?
That's not a bad price actually, and that's only one dose. But when you think in the scheme of things, a lot of things we buy, 60 odd quid for one dose one dosing head.
£100 is good in Reef.
Yeah, and then you can do all for Reef, so you've got all three of your elements in one doser.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't be bad.
John's saying plus learning something too.
Yeah, see that's that snail tip.
I don't know what you've learned today, John, but how not to operate a computer. That's by me, mate.
Well, there's ice cream tubs. We've learned quite a bit about.
Yeah.
Pyrex dishes. Yeah. Yes. Technology.
Pyrex dishes. Do you run Pyrex? Oh, man. I'm not even going to ask. I'm going to have to rewind this and watch it. Pyrex dishes. No, don't. Ask Jay. Jay, tell him what you use a Pyrex dish for.
It works. It works.
Yeah, but you missed that bit.
You've got to have certain people in a hobby who try new things, and then that changes the hobby for the better. Pyrex dish for corals.
Jay pushes the boundaries.
Wife has been upstairs twice to see what I've been laughing at.
Because you never laugh downstairs.
I appreciate it.
That's the reason why we do it, though, isn't it? Because we just have a laugh as well. That's what it's.
Yeah, that is true.
And like you said, it just the end of the week, you all be stressed from work and stuff like that. It's just relax. I get a drink, chill out, relax, have a chat with the lads and the viewers and stuff, and it's great. I love it, mate. I look forward to it every Friday.
Yeah, I do as well.
For sure.
Apparently, if you laugh lots, you live longer. So us reefers on here, we should be living till we're in our 90s.
God, should be, mate. Should be. I look alright.
It depends where you are. Where are you?
Yeah.
I look like a right creep. What's that?
What is that? Just generally?
It's probably you would if you was in the gym or something like that. You're in the gym and you're like that.
Or on the bus.
Or on the bus, yeah.
Thank you.
Reef Bro, send me your details over on Instagram, your address and stuff. I think I've got your address anyway. Sure, I've got your address, but just send it me over anyway, and I'll send it out to you. It might be Monday. No, in fact, it will be Monday when the post office is open. I'll send it out Monday. Recorded delivery, so you should get it Tuesday anyway. So we'll sort it out. Great guys.
Thanks for doing that as well, Steve. Thanks for
doing
that.
No worries. No tech issues this week, Galgal. Taking the beep.
Galgal is seamless. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Galgal
Where are
knows.
we next week then? Because I guess Ross is back from party next week.
Yeah, with Ross next week, aren't we?
Are we with Ross? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll be with Ross. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was on last week.
Be good to get him back.
I'm seeing if I can catch up. I'm nearly caught up with everything now. Cottage Reef's also put you can daisy chain him, which you can do as well. Yeah, so you can buy if you only need one for the time being. Like you said, dosing all for Reef, but then you want to add some like amino mix on as your things. Get it all. You can just daisy chain another P1 onto it.
Yeah,
and make it to a 2 or 3 or 4. So yeah.
I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah. If I put it close to my existing tank, I could run a tube from the doser on that tank. Sounds like too much of an effort. That don't do that. Just buy another pump. Don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
Steve, if the laptop is no good, you could have it there. You could have it. And Secret Reefs, but Love Fridays. We all know my health. brilliant to meet you last week. Anyway, mate, Matt,
Oh,
it was
good to know. I missed
fantastic.
him.
Yeah, really, yeah, quality guy, really good laugh, good guy as well. But like you said, there were so many people there. There were so many people there. You couldn't spend tons of time, with it. People were coming up to me and we was chatting and stuff, and it was just so busy. It was really busy, but yeah, and a cracking stream. Team, okay.
Thank you.
So you changed your name there, Joe?
Yeah, have you changed your name, Jay, to K?
To K.
Well,
that's your weekend name.
It's Saturday. I do dress up.
I mean, he corrected himself. To be fair, I think it was better. I think it was better the first time. To be fair, but
giving away my secrets. Howard's giving away all my secrets.
And the clock has been called.
Oh,
ding ding! Last orders.
Called it.
Last orders at the bar.
Yeah. So once again, guys, thanks for joining in, and sorry about the begin. Well, for the first 47 minutes, I hope I made up for it for the last hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah. Well, if you joined at 9 o'clock, it was perfect.
Absolutely.
No one would have noticed, would they? So I think
nobody would have known. Absolutely. But yeah, once again, massive thanks and a massive congratulations to UK Reef Pro. I'll send that out to you, like I said, first thing Monday, and a massive thanks to Galgo for giving us as well. So once again, guys, we'll see you on next week's live stream. I might be a little bit later because I think I finished work around 7:45. Okay. So I'll probably be on for about 8:30ish.
Yeah.
But I will be joining anyway. So
yeah.
See you on Ross's live stream next week. So have a great weekend.
Thanks for joining.
And I'll see you then, guys. Thanks for joining. Cheers.
Cheers. Take care, everybody.